I'd like to welcome back Rabbi White, who's going to chant Megillat Ruth, and then after that we're going to have Mariv.
Not the whole Megillat Ruth, just a little bit, and to say a few words about Megillat Ruth. As you know, we have a tradition to read Megillat Ruth on Shavuot. Tell me, it's recording, what does that mean? So that you're, Ronnie, could you tell me what that means?
You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that it means that at some point, somebody such as myself, or if I'm not technically proficient, someone else will be able to retrieve this, and that people who would like to see this at another time will be able to do so.
Well, in other words, you can retrieve it and then you can send it to us, those who are interested. Is that right?
Hopefully something like that, yeah.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so the tradition is to read Megillat Ruth. And so why do we read Megillat Ruth on Shavuot? So I'll just repeat something I wrote for the blog of the bulletin, the synagogue bulletin, the Shabbat, and I'll try to say it in different words. I don't know if this is the real reason, but I think, to me, this has meaning, and I will say it. And I begin by combining a couple of things. First of all, we know we have a minhag that between Pesach and Shavuot, we say Pirkei Avot on Shabbat. So every Shabbat afternoon, we say Pirkei Avot. Why Pirkei Avot? Well, it's because it's Shabbat afternoon is a long time, and we want to learn Torah. What are you going to do on Shabbat? So we learn Torah. But why Pirkei Avot? There's so much in the Torah. How come the tradition was to read Pirkei Avot? So the Baal Shem Tov explained, I remember having heard this many, many, many years ago, that what is Pirkei Avot? In English is called the Ethics of the Fathers. So it's a section of the Talmud that specifically deals with our midot, with personality, trying to be a good person. And on Shavuot, we read the Torah, we read the Aseret Debrot. Shavuot is known as a holiday of the Torah, the giving of the Torah. So it comes to teach us that the Torah, many laws, many very nice laws in the Torah, but the Torah should be done and experienced in the spirit of chesed, of niceness. The Torah has to be in a framework of niceness. We learn the Torah not to show off how much we know, not to lord it over somebody, not to take advantage of people and using our knowledge to be able to take advantage of somebody else, but to do things in a spirit of niceness. And I think that fits in with Megillat Ruth. Now, there are a lot of reasons you can find, and you can go to various books, you'll see different reasons why we read Megillat Ruth. But it seems to me that Megillat Ruth is a book of chesed. It tells us about people who are being nice. For example, Naomi was not trying to pressure Ruth. She tried to say, listen, Naomi, you don't have to come with me. What do you want to make life difficult for yourself? She said, I'm an old lady and I don't have any, I'm going back to Israel, I don't have any means. You come from a wealthy family. What are you trying to make life difficult? So she was trying to be very nice and not to pressure Ruth. Ruth, from her part, she was very nice. She wanted to accompany Naomi. She said, no. You're my mother-in-law. I have to go with you wherever you go. Right? Wherever you go, I'm going to go. Wherever you're going to stay, I'm going to stay. We're one. So showing niceness. And also Boaz, when Ruth finally comes, Ruth and Naomi come back to the land of Israel. So Boaz is very nice to her. He tells all his workers, be nice to this girl. You know, I know she's not somebody from us. She's not one of us. If he spoke in Yiddish, he said, Sie ist nicht von unserer, right? So he said he's not one of us, but nevertheless, don't have that attitude. She treated her really nicely. So you have throughout Megillat Ruth a feeling of chesed. And to me, that's a wonderful connection to the Torah. Torah should always be given in an atmosphere of chesed. It should be practiced in an atmosphere of chesed. And this compares of Elimelech. Now, Elimelech was the husband of Naomi. Now take a look at this, see what Rashi says. I'm going to read to you the first pasuk from Megillat Ruth. It goes something like this. Where is it? I had it here. I just had it. Now here it is. Okay. So it goes like this. Vayi bimei shafot hashofatim Vayi ra'av ba'aretz Vayelech ish מבית לחם יהודה לגור בשדה מואב ובאשתו ושני בניו. And the pasuk tells that it was in those days, in the time of the judges, and there was a famine in the land. The theme of famine is very familiar to us. We know it from Sefer Breshit. There was always a famine. The time of Abraham, the time of Yitzchak, and of Yaakov. They all had to deal with famines. And a certain man, Ish, from Bethlehem, in the territory of Yehuda, he went to live in Moab. Moab is not far away. If you're in Yerushalayim, you can actually see the mountains of Moab in certain places from Yehuda. It's very easy to get to. He and his wife and his two sons. And Rashi tells us, says, Vayihi bimei shvot hashoftim, and Rashi says, Vayelech ish. Ish, Rashi says, that often means not just an Adam, but an Ish. He was an important person. Asher Gadol Haya. He was a very wealthy man. Ufarnas Hador. And he was the person who supported people in his generation. So what did he do? V'yatzam Eretz Yisrael. So he left the land of Israel. Why? Why did he get away? He said he wanted to vermus. He wanted to get away from Israel. Why? L'chutz ha'aretz mipnei sarut ha'ayin. Because he knew that people would come to him for help. And he said, I want to get away from these people. I don't want to be doing good. People are coming to me. They want me to do good deeds. They help them out. I can't do it. So poor people would come to me and say, I want nothing to do with this. Too bad for them. Right? We're here in what's now in Quebec, right? They have the nursing homes, right? The government doesn't seem, now they finally wake up to the fact that the circumstances are not good. There's no air conditioning. So, lachach ne'enash. And that's why he was punished. That's why he eventually passed away very shortly after he left Israel. So it teaches us chesed, the opposite of Elimelech. So that's the contrast in the pasuk. And this, of course, fits in with the pasuk when they received the Torah. And as Rashi points out, all the verbs are in the plural. But when it came to encamped around Mount Sinai, it says, Vayichan Sham Yisrael neged har. They encamped near the mountain. And Rashi says, wait, this verb is in the singular, all the other verbs in the plural. So it shows that when they camped in front of the mountain, finally, there was one time in Jewish history, you got the Torah, at that time that everyone was friendly, everyone was together. And perhaps it could also be that the word Vayichan, my suggestion is that it doesn't only come from the word machanet, to encamp, but it can also perhaps as an allusion to the word chen. There was a niceness. I know what chen means. There was a niceness, there was a good feeling that everyone had. So let us all have a Chag Sameach and a good, friendly, and meaningful Chag Sameach, and we'll make the best of it, even though we're not in the synagogue, but we do the best we can during this holiday. So that's what I want to say. Now I want to daven Mariv or Arvit, so I think we should do that now. The way we arranged it was that we said Mincha 7:45 and Arvit now, and the reason we wanted to do that is that we used as our line of demarcation. We want the fulcrum was Shkiat HaChama. It's proper to say Mincha before Shkiat HaChama, before sundown, and Arvit after sundown. So sundown was about 8:32, so we said Mincha before, and now Mariv is saying afterwards. And it's also, if at all possible, it's good to say Ma'ariv, Arvit, after the time the stars come out, and I think there are some stars out now, so we can start Ma'ariv.